Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? We're going to do a short drive today, but we're going to go a different way just because, you probably see the same old roads when we do these, and for the most part, they will be the same old roads. But we're going to just kind of go a different roundabout way into town. So this place here on the corner is called Distelfink, and it's an old ancient, come on, just go. Thank you. I had the right of way, but whatever. Anyway, it used to be like this ice cream place. I've never been there. It was still open when I would visit here, but we never stopped at it. Howdy, Babber. But it's been laying there abandoned for a while, but looks like they're starting some kind of work there. I don't know what it's going to be. I think it was announced what it was going to be, but of course I don't remember these things. Okay, stop. I'm lucky I remember my name. Morning, Josh. Morning, Gene. Okay, so I have to go to the studio this morning, and I need to edit the audio version of last night's show, and then I need to edit and upload a history show, and what else? What else? Oh, yes, 1 o'clock, I am going to be interviewed on community media because, my friend Amy is involved there. She does a lot of videos. She's really spruced up community media. Community media is, we used to call cable access. By the way, you see that solar farm in the distance? Look at this, up on the hill there. Ugly as goddamn. I can't wait until the day when those are proven to be impractical and ineffective, and everybody destroys them, like they did the National Tower. All right, so where was I? Oh yeah, it's community media. So she's really, she's got a great personality, and she's really, like, in the last year since she started working with them, really kicked up their programming a notch or two with some creative and fun programs. And so she invited me on the show that she does, where she talks about local people who are doing something, for the community. And her argument is that, we promote visitation to Gettysburg. And then I got to thinking, I was like, yeah, you know what, we do. And I'm sick of being modest, namely the battlefield. But when the battlefield's closed, you got to go somewhere. You got to do something. And what would that be? And so the answer is, listen to Addressing Gettysburg and we'll tell you. And we'll make you laugh and learn in the process. Nobody else does tell you where you could go and what to do, but they're not going to make you laugh and learn. Anyway, so she wants to have me come on to talk about that. So we're going to do that, and that'll be fun. It's nice to other people once in a while, but also there's this year, one of the goals I have is to let the local community know what we're all about. A lot of listeners tell me that unless they go to a sponsor's business, they're surprised, they're shocked that no one has heard of Addressing Gettysburg in town. And I said, yeah, no, it's people out of town that know about it. And think about it. Who, first of all, you live here. There's two types of people who live here. People who move here for the history, and the people who can't stand them. And so The people who can't stand them, they're not listening to local podcasts about the Battle of Gettysburg. They're listening to something else, if they're listening to podcasts at all. So they don't know about us. And we haven't really done much local promotion. But that's changing now because if I'm going to... The local community needs to know that we're pulling for them and they need to get behind us. So that's the idea here. This year we're going to do more of a local effort, and yeah, that's the idea there. So at first I have to edit last night's show. Or not really edit, I just upload it. Michael Stump says, okay, you suckered me in with the title this morning. No, it's not a suckering. Most likely, here's the deal. I have a lot on my plate coming up after the new year. Time is going to be even more scarce than it's been. And as much as I love to do this, I have to make better use of my time. If this was paying off, like if I was getting constant super likes like I see these bigger podcasts getting, or more patrons, like, 2 or 3 patrons per video, okay, I would probably consider keeping it like 2 or 3 days a week. But it was really an effort to, counteract inflation, to be honest with you. And it's not really working. Oh my God, there's more solar panel. Oh my God. Who? There's solar panels all over the place out here now. Subway. And goddamn you people for selling out. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah. So, it's not a charity. I'm not Jesus Christ walking around, being poor and everything. No, it's a business. And you get into business to make money. And it wasn't really working in that regard. And now, with my time being more scarce coming up, I have to cut the fat. And so this probably is going to be the last regular steady morning drive. Of course there will be exceptions, but nothing I would give you any kind of idea of a schedule for or anything like that. And it's not it's I had to make a big boy decision, and the big boy decision was, this is not benefiting me when it comes to paying bills. So, all right, that's going to go to the side. I need the time that I spend doing this to work, because now I'm going to have more work to do, so I'm going to need to use more of my time. And the days of me working from 8 to 8 are over, because I have a dog and a girlfriend who want me to be around. So I have to do more of a 9 to 5 type of, but I don't have to, but I choose to, because I don't think it's right to ignore them for work. So I'm not going to do that. So I have to make the most of my time. So there you go, Michael. It wasn't really a suckering. It's kind of true, or it is true. Just watched your Christmas show last night. I have a joke of my own. Lee said, Virginia, there is no Santa Claus. Say what? Oh, by the way, I was in stitches. Thank you. I'm glad you were in stitches, because I was about to die. I don't know what. So that freaking Santa costume was $80, okay? And it was, as quote-unquote cheap costumes go, it was all right. I mean, it'll be usable next year. But the beard, folks, the beard. All right, I get it. The guy's got a big beard. But, there's a slit for your mouth, but it's covered with hair. plastic hair. Very hard to breathe in it. And very hard to breathe in it while doing a voice. I couldn't have ended fast enough. I was in pain. Not pain, but agony. It was an agony, worse than pain. Ghost says, as an electrician, I can tell you, solar on industrial scale is not sustainable. Same for wind. You need a constant supply. Of course, it's virtue signaling and a waste of freaking money. It's these stupid tax benefits, and so they do it. I'm telling you, it's all going to collapse one day, and it's going to be so fun to watch. It is just an exercise in stupidity. Good morning to you, Dogface. Good morning, Dragoon. Ty says, Matt moved there for the history and can't stand the people who moved there. He's got it figured out. Yeah. I said I can't stand the people. I'll tell you, most of my friends here are people who moved here. And it's nothing against the natives. It's just there's a different... Well, first of all, we're not fully accepted by the natives. But also, there's a... There's a unspoken camaraderie that we have because we all come from elsewhere, and we all recognize the same thing about this place, how great it is, and how much better than it is than from where we came. That was a very awkward sentence, but you know what I mean. So, so there's that. And we're all here trying to make a go of a business related to somehow tourism or history or both. They kind of are the same thing. And so we kind of all get each other. And again, the locals, I think they're sick of all of it, you know? And I don't blame them. I mean, can you imagine living at the Jersey Shore or any beach town? Like, you're born and raised there all year long. It's a nice, quiet little town. And then the minute the weather gets nice, it's just like, it must be how Gettysburg felt on July 1st, 2nd, 3. It must be. Because you're just invaded by hundreds of thousands of people a weekend, and it's a lot. So I understand the locals' arm's length distance that they keep from transplants like me. We're a little weird too. A lot of the transplants, you know, the ones that are normal and functioning, I don't mind them, I like them. But then you get the ones who are here, who I think they think that moving here will miraculously make all of their problems go away without having to do any work on them themselves. That's not true. But it is such a great place to live. The problem is, and this is why I understand everybody's desire to live here. I wanted to live here, obviously. I moved here. The problem is the surrounding areas. I mean, look, how many ugly solar farms did I just pass that are being, bought up? Farms that used to feed people are now being bought up for these ugly solar panels that are going to do absolutely nothing. And so the area is already getting swallowed up. If we have people moving here, and this is the thing I don't think people from New York and New Jersey especially understood when they all started moving to the Carolinas, is you ruin it. The thing that you find quaint and ideal about these places, you ruin when you move there and tell all your friends and family how great it is. Because then they go and then they move and then they tell their friends and so on and so forth. And then it's ruined and it becomes South New Jersey or South New York. And don't do that to here. That's all I'm saying. And, people want money and there are developers willing to pay. And then if you're willing to buy, you're gonna ruin the area. Move to like Maryland. It's already ruined, and it's still a close drive. You know. I like to bust balls, guys. Locals tend to gossip about other locals in town. Well, they do, but they also gossip about us transplants too. If they know who we are, we're like second class. It often is like when you see a movie about, some oppressed people, and then you see a scene where they have to interact with the oppressor class, and how the oppressor class treats them like they're a piece of furniture or something like that. That's kind of how some of the locals, especially the ones who have the money, kind of treat the transplants. I haven't experienced that. Everybody's been very nice to me, but I've seen it. And I don't know, you get what you give, folks, right? So you come here and you get what you give. Howard says, I was shocked at the indifference of the field by the locals. Yes. How about this? This is another one somebody told me they were shocked about. How locals don't even know where like Devil's Den is or something like that. I have to find out if this is still true, but I had been told a while ago that the local schools don't even visit the battlefield. They barely talk about the Civil War, and they don't even visit. I find that hard to believe. I believe that probably was true at one point in time. I can't imagine that is true today, because the local children, they're the future, of everything, really. I mean, Whitney Houston told us so. And that they aren't taught to appreciate their hometown and its significance in the history of this country. I just have a hard time believing that. I have to find out that if that's true or not, because if that's true, that is a shame. I mean, it really is. And I don't say it just because it's an expression, but it is a true shame. It is a shameful thing. And I hope that's not true. SP says, good morning, Matt, from one of your out-of-towners. Good morning, how are you? Paul says, you need to have a life outside of work. Yes, you do. Although, I have to tell you, I like that my work is my life. I don't dislike doing this. I love doing this. I would drive around and talk to you guys all day if it paid my bills, but it doesn't. So that's, I gotta make financial decisions here. Speaking of Major, Eric says, is she off at the training? Today we drop her off at 5 o'clock. I'm so excited. Actually, I gotta tell you, I fell asleep on the couch again last night, and Major fell asleep in front of me on the ottoman, and I had the worst dream about her. She got run over by a police car, and the cop got out and he was, oh, I'm so sorry. And I thought she was dead because he picked her up and she like folded in half, but then that woke her up and she started crying. And so I grabbed her and he rushed us to the hospital, and I was just, and it was so real, and I was hysterical, and I woke up like huffing and and I looked on the ottoman and she was still there, and I was like, oh, thank God. Oh, it was terrible, awful. But when she came to and started crying, she sounded like a baby, not a puppy. And that told me everything. And based on our conversation Cindy and I had last night about like, oh, we're gonna actually miss her. I've been all like, please, I can't wait for these 3 weeks, and then we're like, I'm gonna miss her. And that was our conversation leading into it. And I said, I hope the other dogs are nice to her. And I hope the trainer doesn't, like, it's not one of these places where the dog comes back abused and all skittish and everything. And as I said, I feel like I'm sending my kid off to like military school or something. Or we're watching The Crown, and I likened it to when Prince Charles goes off to boarding school and he gets picked on. And then I had that dream later on. So clearly, and I hate when people say this, but now I get it. I think of her as my a child and say, yeah, just walk across the entire road. Make me go over the double line. So I don't know. I just yeah. So I'm gonna miss her, but it'll be nice to have the free time anyway. Kevin, you take care of yourself and girlfriend and others. Thank you, Kevin. Time is one of the things we own that we control. Yep, exactly. Use it wisely. Kevin, thank you for the ride. You're welcome, Kevin. Francis says, I forget what movie that was from. I forget what I said. Otherwise, I'd tell you. Thanks for all the morning rides. I always learn something new. You're welcome. Who's that? Christine Russ. Thank you, Christine, for your viewing. Paul says, dating in Gettysburg back in the day, have a job, all your teeth, and don't talk about the Civil War. Jim says, hey, Matt, any thoughts on the passing of Ralph Cirella? Oh, I hate Stern Show now, but back when I was listening, I enjoyed Ralph and everybody calling him, yeah. I saw that the other day. I follow Baba Booey, and he posted something about Ralph, and I was like, whatever he posted, it wasn't like Ralph is dead. It was like, I can't believe you're gone. And I thought, oh, maybe he found a better job or something. But I looked into it, and I went on YouTube, and I wrote Ralph Cirella death, Howard Stern. And sure enough, there was a clip of Howard talking about it. And I got to say that I found that to be really sad. Because Ralph, I think he was 58. So he's not terribly older than me. He's a few years older than me, 15 or so years. Or almost 15 years. And, so he was young when he started on the Howard Stern Show, and that's when I was listening, and I thought it was cool that this, young kid, compared to Howard, was, working on the show and everything like that, and then they became friends and stuff, and he did have, you could tell he was really, truly friends with Howard, because they had they hung out together, and Ralph had like this unfettered access to call in during any point in the show and say whatever he wanted to say. But Ralph was funny because he was such a pain in the ass, and my favorite was when he would call in and get under Eric the actor's skin. Yeah, that was good stuff. And it's sad. And then the story of how he died was sad too. Like, he just didn't take care of himself. He didn't go to the doctor. All this could have been avoided if he had just taken better care of himself. So, and he didn't have health insurance. And a lot of people are like, oh, Howard should have taken care of him. He should have paid him more. Or I can't believe he worked for Howard full time, but Howard didn't give him health insurance. He probably worked as a contractor, and therefore was responsible for his own. Wherever you go, there you are. That is true, Kevin. The quote was, to quote the Joker, excuse me, wait till they see me. You mean, wait till they get a load of me? That one? When I retire there, Jim Hessler and I will make a push for a 100-foot statue. Yeah, good luck. Eric, so people moving in and telling everyone how great it is, isn't that the whole premise of your show? Yes, but it's like, I'll experience it for you and tell you about it. You stay right where you are. Don't come and ruin it. Don't worry, folks. I got in, and I'll report on things for you so that you can see what it's like, and you don't have to move here. Paul says, I had heard that story about the schools when I was living there too. No idea if it was true. Yeah, I got to find out. So you've heard that too, and I've heard that for years. I don't know if that's changed or not, though. We'll find out. And I will fund it. Oh, the statue. And also build a 10-story addressing Gettysburg. Jeez, you must have really planned well for your retirement. Well, if they do that 7-story building, there's precedent to be set, or that has been set, that you can now you could just offer a little more money and get a 10-story building in there. And soon we will have skyscrapers. When a government is elected by people who have lost their soul, the town goes to hell. Thank you. Good morning, Matt. I can't wait for the Christmas party tomorrow. Garrick's, neither can I. Should be fun. In case you guys didn't hear, the grand prize for the ugly Christmas sweater contest is a copy of each volume of Scott Hartwig's Antietam books. Now, fortunately, the first volume is a soft cover. He didn't have another hardcover around. But the information's the same, folks. I mean, it's just the cover. So they're not going to be like matching hardcovers, but that's still saving you about $100. So wear your ugliest of Christmas sweaters, Ty says, and we would sit here and listen to you all day if it paid the bills, believe me. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Ty. Well, you'll get a chance, as I said yesterday, you'll get a chance, I think in June, probably June 30th. And we will, we're going to try to do a 24-hour pledge drive, Patreon pledge drive, telethon type of thing. Jen Murray and Mike Warker and Cindy were really pushing for me to do that at dinner the other night. And I said, all right, but you guys have to help me plan it. And I'm going to put you in charge of it because we can find other people. I can't do it alone. I'm sick of doing it alone. So either you got to put up or shut up. So we'll see. We will see. Dragoon says, sounds like Major's going to basic training. I know how she feels. Yes, she is. She doesn't know it. SP says, a dirty little secret. Puppy classes are train the puppy, but to train the owners to train the puppy. Dragoon, Buckaroo Bonsai. Why does that sound familiar? Dragoon, if she's a major, wouldn't it be OCS? Well, so what I do is I give you the rank first, and then you work up to it or lose it. So it's a little different in my army. Look at that view. See? It's pretty. It's pretty. But you don't need to live here to see that. It's true, though, folks. The more of you move here, the less there's going to be for you to enjoy. It's a weird thing. It's sad. I'm sorry. You're just going to have to stay. Dragoon, one of my favorite movies. Love Pretty Penny. Pretty Penny was her name. Rock and Roll All-Stars. Good morning. Thanks for the morning drives. I enjoyed them, Lieutenant Dan. Thank you, Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Dan. Howard says, I enjoy your rides. It gives a pulse of the area and community, which is important to us. Well, so there's an idea in the works that is going to kind of incorporate what I'm doing here right now, these morning drives, with history. And I'm talking with Preservation Maryland about getting together to do this because we both kind of had the same idea. And I said, well, instead of you, a Maryland group, encroaching into my territory, Gettysburg, why don't we just team up and do it together? Because I was going to do it anyway, and whoever does it first is going to make it look like the other guy was copying, and we had the same idea independent of each other at the same time. So let's just do it together. So that's what we're going to work on. Now, a lot of these things are going to be filmed this year. But the reality of it is they're not going to be out until winter at the earliest of next year. They're not going to be filmed until the leaves get green and the weather turns, because we got to be outdoors. And nobody wants to be outdoors in this shit. And also, look at how ugly it is. I mean, the sun and the clouds are nice, but the ground is this scraggly, leafless, dead trees. Dormant trees. Nobody wants that. Who wants to look at that? I don't want to know the man who wants to look at dead winter. So we're going to spend the winter writing, preparing, planning, scheduling, all that stuff, getting permits, and then in the spring, once everything starts leafing out, we're going to begin filming. So then that means they need to be edited. So depends on how long it takes our editor to edit them. And I'm a particularly picky, particular person, and so there might be a few changes that they'd have to make, and then it would get to a point where I'd be like, you know what, I'll just do it. And then, yeah. So, yeah, that there will be things like this, Howard, but not exactly like this. Good morning, Miss Lisi. How are you? What time is the party tomorrow? It's 6 o'clock. Should say it in your confirmation email. If you signed up that way. Okay. I think we're okay because we're on top of that. The stupid connection goes and you lose literally half your... All right. Barbara, I'm going to bring my new camera to test out. I will get some video, but I was thinking it would just be more for like memories purposes. I don't plan on making a video because I got to play hostess with the mostest, so I won't have the time to be going around doing that. And I just dropped basically, we're all said and done, $4,000 on the whole kit, and I'm not letting anybody else touch that unless they know how to use a camera. So I got to, that to say to people, here's what you missed, and rub it in their face, like, haha, we did this and you didn't. There will be a live performance. Camp Claus is coming to town. No, there won't. I won't be doing that. That's just a joke. All right. There's birds out. I heard little song chirping. And it's not that bad. I'm driving with the window cracked. It's not terribly cold. All right, I'm going to just sit here for a second and catch up on comments. Buckaroo Bonsai's from Revenge of the Nerds. Buckaroo Bonsai's from Revenge of the Nerds. There you go. Also taking my fair share of money for the charities I run. I figure 99.5% for me, the rest for charity. Seems like that's what other nonprofits do, so why not? Exorbitant salaries, I guess, is the way to do it. I don't know. Don't worry, Matt, Eric says. I will stay where I am and keep making the 3-hour drive every weekend. Or at least that's what it feels like, or what feels like every weekend. Thank you. Good morning, Shaban McDermott. Am I saying that right? I think I am. Ty says, how are we supposed to preserve Maryland if you keep telling all the riffraff to move here instead of Gettysburg? Well, that's not my concern, Ty. That's not my concern. Well, and look, you can move to Harrisburg. That's this beautiful suburbs up there. You could go to Chambersburg. That's already destroyed. You can go to York, Hanover, plenty of places around here. Hey, many of them cheaper, too, to move to. And you come and visit Gettysburg. That's way. And listen, and this is. I'm not just saying this to dissuade you. This is true, though. And you could ask other people who have known transplants. A lot of transplants don't look before they leap. I'll tell you this one couple that I remember. I won't say their names, but they were customers of Gettysburg early on, like first season, I think, or maybe second season. No, first season. And they came down, rented bikes. They're from Long Island. And they loved it so much. And he went and bought he met some reenactors on his trip here and went and bought a whole kit to start reenacting. And then they came down like a month or two later again and said, "Hey, we're moving here." I'm like, "Really?" Like, "Yeah, we love it. We're moving. I'm like, "Well, what are you gonna do?" He's like, "Well, I work as a mechanic on boats. So I saw there was a boat dealership on Route 30. I'm gonna, see if I can get a job there." And I'm like, "Okay." And anyway, long story short, they moved here, and very quickly realized it's a different time. This was over 15 years ago, but it was very hard to make a living here. Especially if you're not trying to make a living off of tourism. There's fewer opportunities that already exist, so maybe you can create the opportunity, but very few people have the mettle to do that. So you have to remember there's a difference between loving to visit a place and living at that place. And for a lot of people who move here because they love to visit here, it very quickly tarnishes and they become disenchanted and end up leaving. So a word to the wise, Hawaii is beautiful to visit, but eventually you get sick of the sun. So that's all I'm saying. Ghost, we got to buy the Colton and give it a remodel and pool bar, and we can have a place for addressing Gettysburg. Oh, that's a great idea, Paul. Dragoon, Buckaroo Banzai is a total different movie from Nerds. Same era, though. Oh, is it? Okay. I don't know. I wasn't into that. I was a little young when that all came out, and then by the time I was watching movies, it was like, a couple years old, and I don't know. I wasn't a nerd, so I didn't get it. I didn't like that the nerds won. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to revisit them. Jennifer says, "Are you really not going to do no more morning drives? I really enjoy them." Yeah, Jennifer, I think in 2024, I think I got to... Oh, I was explaining before, I guess you weren't in here, that I have less free time. I have more work to do after the new year and less free time. And so I can't spare the time that I take to do this. Time is money. You gotta work. You gotta make money. So I need to be like using this time to take care of the extra work that I have on top of my normal schedule. But I will occasionally do drives, and we are working on a video production or series that will incorporate driving around, but will actually do history. I have to see if I win this year, because last year you didn't see my sweater and I came in second. Well, I'm not a judge this year. I don't know who's judging, but I know I'm not judging. Ghost Dogface, even better, maybe get some laws changed and make it Vegas to the East a party place. Yeah, they tried that. That's not working. Eric, I have not heard if he heard it yet or what the reaction is, although I did get a hey text last night, but he hasn't answered me back yet. Gene says, I replayed Santa Claus is Coming to Town about 10 times last night. Too funny. Thank you. Also seen Godzilla -1, and it is a great movie. I highly recommend it. Is that new? Because that's the second time someone's mentioned that. Yeah, definitely have a job lined up before moving into town. It's slim pickings. Yeah, good choice. See, Paul lived here too. Have something lined up. Don't just move here. And, there's certain... Wait, what did I just do? I think I might have... Okay. There's certain jobs that obviously translate or transport... transfer? What's the word I'm looking for? You can take anywhere, like in the medical field or teaching, certain things will work. We got the hospital here. It's a major employer. That's well spanned, but we also now have a UPMC that is coming into the area. So that's more opportunity for people in the medical field. You'll have an easier time finding work. But if you don't really have anything like that, um, there are jobs, but it's not cheap to live here. Uh, Rents are very high. It's ridiculous. But that's what it is. So rock and roll. There's some wisdom in your words on visitors. Didn't Ben Franklin say in Poor Rich's Almanac that after 3 days, fish and visitors? Yes, right, Lieutenant Dan. but but that's from the natives' point of view. From the visitor's point of view, uh, it'll take a little longer than 3 days before you start to sour on the place, if you're the type who sours. It all depends on the mindset you have going into moving here, I guess. Ghost says, Matt, you're selling me on moving there. When I retire, I'm all in. Well, actually, retiring is the other thing. So that's doable. A lot of people retire to this area. They buy a farm out of town or a little place out of town. Some buy in town, because they got their money and they can enjoy the rest of their lives, and they've always wanted to live here, and they did it the right way. They made their money elsewhere and then retire here. I mean, a lot of people who do that. That's another way to do it. Because, the retired people, they move here, what do they got? 10, 20 years at the most, and then they're gone. So, it's the people who are going to be here for decades upon decades, and then they have the kids here. Those are the people that are, going to make it crowded. Babber will miss the drives too. I'm sorry, Babs. Gene says, perhaps the having is not so pleasurable as the wanting spot. That is perfect, Gene. Yes. And I've seen that. I wouldn't say more times than not, but I would say it's about 50-50 that I've seen people who moved here and realized they should have just kept visiting, versus people who moved here and are like me, where it's like, this is the best place on earth and it's better than I ever imagined and I can't imagine my life without it. I think it's about 50-50. John B., you have a great Christmas as well. Kevin says, I feel the same way about Cape Cod. Yeah. I am looking into Amblebrook for my retirement place and maybe part-time electrician gig. There you go. I hear it's really nice out there. I've never been, but I hear, is it new? All of a sudden I hear people talking about Amblebrook all the time. Heck, I was working in D.C. when I first moved to town, then in Emmitsburg and VA. Gene loves Cape Cod, but only after Labor Day. The Cape is brutal during the summer. Yeah, it's tough to live in a tourist town, but like you say, after Labor Day, after Remembrance Day, Gettysburg, we kind of get it back to ourselves. Look at that. That's nice, and that haze in the distance makes it more visible to see the Pennsylvania Monument and all that, more possible, I mean. Anyway, what was I saying now? I forget. Oh, it doesn't matter. Move wherever the hell you want to move. Well, who am I to tell you not to move here? I'm just asking you, please don't move here. Unless you want to help out with the show. Then we, can use all the help we can get. Market very tough. Like, I mentioned on the show, thanking everybody. I know, and I'm sure it wasn't everybody. I'm sure I missed somebody, but I spent 2 days coming up with that list, and I know I missed someone. No, I can't remember who. Oh, well, whatever. Now I forgot what I was saying. Forget it. Oh, Dustin. I mentioned Dustin and how he, last January called me and he's like, buddy, we're moving to Gettysburg and I can finally be your producer. And this is 4 years after he originally said that he really wished that he could move here so that he could help me with the show. And now they're finally able to. So I got my feelers out. He had his feelers out. His goal was to move here by March. It is now December. They have not moved here, but they have changed from looking to rent to looking to buy. And there are more houses available for sale, apparently, than for rent. Also, he has a brood of 6, so it's a lot of space for that family. And so he's been having a hard time with it. But I know people who are just a couple and for months. So it's not easy. I mean, you will find something. I mean, we were looking for a few months, and it was slim pickings, slim pissins. But then we got lucky. One came on the market. She caught it, and she contacted the guy right away. And Bob's your uncle. We got the place. But it's Yeah, we do have great weather here today. I hope it holds out for tomorrow, so no rain or snow stops people from coming to the party. I enjoy the Christmas party because it's just there's no show, there's nothing to it. It's just hang out and enjoy each other's company, get to know everybody. I love meeting everybody. I truly do. Like, there's so many interesting people that I meet through doing this. And even when I was not doing this, my first foray down here, I just owned Getty's Bike, but because I owned a business and I dealt with tourists, I met a lot of really interesting people. And back in those days, I was more into going to bars, so I would go to a bar and, sometimes I'd go alone. I'd be like, nobody's available to go out. All right, whatever, I'll go by myself. And I'll end up getting into a great conversation with some people. And always interesting. Never a dull moment here. Even the boring days where there's nothing going on, like today. I mean, how many tourists have we seen on the battlefield today? Not many, right? But even these days are great because, to me, place is important. There's something about Gettysburg that draws me, and I think the history of it is kind of like window dressing. I think it feels like there's something different, something, I don't want to get hokey on you, but something very spiritual that has nothing to do with what happened here, that pulls me here. And it's hard to explain. But, and it's because from the first time I came here on a field trip, I had this, at the time, new feeling of what it feels like to be at home. But I didn't recognize it as that until 7 years ago, 8 years ago. And it was because somebody put it in my head. It's like, the reason you always go and visit and you're like sad when you leave and you feel like you're leaving your home and you hate living here and you're never happy here. He goes, maybe that's your home. That's where you're supposed to be. And I was like, I didn't think of it that way. And he was right. But so therefore, I can handle, pretty much anything I've had to handle. The bad times, being destitute, I was able to handle that. I was able to handle, things. I wouldn't call it success because I don't have FU money, but I make a living now, and I'm able to handle that and enjoy it. And even when there's threats to it and whatever, I feel a strength that I can handle it because I'm here. I don't feel that strength anywhere else. I don't feel like I can handle whatever comes my way anywhere else. So that, to me, tells me that this is my home. And frankly, I don't even care if locals see it that way. and if they never accept me as a local, as a Gettysburgian, I don't really care. I love it. I'm not here for them, I'm here for me. Eric, we were the first neighbors. We weren't the new neighbors. We were the first neighbor. You would have been the new neighbors if you moved into the place next to us. So yeah, so Eric's I think I didn't read the whole further back, but I think you're referring to when I was talking about the place that we found. So I don't know if you were a part of the forum, but I put a video up of a house that my friend had available for rent. That was the house on our property next door to our house. I didn't say that because I don't want some crazy next to me. But somebody moved in, a family moved in, beginning of the month, beginning of, what was it, December, November? Yeah, it was beginning of December, so just the beginning of the month. And I haven't met them yet. We haven't crossed paths, but I plan to meet them, and hopefully they'll be nice. They seem nice. Cindy met the kids. She said they were nice little girls, and they liked Major. But I haven't met the parents yet. Good morning, BKW. How are you? Sup, dolls are evil. Yeah, Paul says, miss the days of $500 a month for a townhouse near the center. I gotta tell you, my place that I had before this, I was paying $500 a month. Quite frankly, between that and the patrons, that's how I was able to eventually devote full time to addressing Gettysburg. Last year was the first year that I was full-time AG. Before that, I was doing Gettysburg and addressing Gettysburg because addressing Gettysburg wasn't there yet. But so now it's full-time. But anyway, yeah, my rent was $500 a month, and I said to Cindy, I go, I feel like we should hold on to it. She's like, are you not sure about moving in with me? And I go, no. When else are we ever going to get a place for $500 a month? It's too small for us, but maybe we can use it for Paige, her daughter, because we knew she wasn't going to stay in college. It's not for her. So she's coming home. It's like, but we were like, nah, let's just get rid of it, save the $500, put it towards the rent at the new place, which is $2,300 And but now Paige is coming back, and I wish we had kept the other place, but I gave it to Debbie Jones. Debbie Jones took it off my hands. Now I had a deal on the place. It's not. I'm not going to say what it is, but it's not $500 for Debbie. It's at market value now. But I had a deal because I kind of helped to manage it because the landlord is not local anymore. So, but yeah, you're never gonna find. You can get $500 to rent a room, maybe. But yeah. Oh, what was that? There's a super like. Dustin Wise, thank you very much. Good morning to you. Thank you for the super like on this, the last drive of ever, perhaps. We're going to stop at Gettysburg Baking for breakfast. It's 9:28. I got to get cracking on some editing here, folks. Oh, how the time flies. And I have so much fun with you guys. Next door dog sitters. Yeah, perhaps. We'll see if we can make friends. Carol Craig says, I feel like I'm there. Heart emoji. Well, thank you, Carol. I'm glad you feel that way. You're staying at the Best Western BKW. Are you coming in for the party, or are you talking about like spring or something? And BKW, are you the one who sent me the email asking for recommendations? And did I answer you? And if it's not you, sorry I asked. If it is you, I'm sorry if I didn't send you recommendations. I've had a very hectic November and December, and even part of October, which was surprising, but November and December have been insane. And finally, after tomorrow, I will be free for 3 weeks ish. Have office work to do. Eric says we pay tens of thousands of dollars for a room in Gettysburg. You just have to share the room with someone else and in a building with a few hundred others. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Board at a college is so expensive. And I mean, like, essentially, her room is 10 grand. It's 20 grand. Because her roommate's paying 10 grand too. It's such a ripoff. I'm sorry. And I'm not singling out Gettysburg College. College in general, for the average everyday person, is such a ripoff. Develop a skill. Just develop a skill. You could do it. Anybody can do it. Get your real estate license. Do something else. All right. Ciao, everyone. Have fun at the party. Thank you, Miss Lisi. Wish we could come. Yes, wish you could come too. Maybe next year. Ghost says, my wife keeps telling me maybe just rent a room at a B&B for a month at a time and come a couple of... There's, there are some, like, well, I mean, see, I knew there's a guide who rented an apartment, and it was like an efficiency apartment, furnished, all that other stuff. It was like, I think $500, $750, something like that a month. And he would just hold it so that when he would come down from the Poconos, he would have a place to stay. Wouldn't have to get a hotel, which I think probably would have been cheaper considering he wasn't here every weekend. But whatever. Then the lockdowns happened and everybody got weird. And for whatever reason, you know, nobody's working, so we have to jack up rents. And I don't get the logic of that, but so of course he had to get rid of it. And now it's like $1,000 a month for that. So there are some, you know, furnished places that if you've got the money, you can just have on retainer, basically. But I have another friend who, he and his wife, they rented during the lockdowns, they rented a cabin out in, I want to say it was Fayetteville. Is it Fayetteville? I don't know. Out on the mountain on Route 30 I think they were here for like 2 months. And it was great. I loved when they were here. We had a lot of fun with them. But, yeah, they had a little cabin that they Airbnb'd. And they got it for a couple months, and they stayed down here. They worked remotely anyway. Their jobs were remote to begin with, so it worked out. And I don't know. You know, you can find a way. I have other friends who buy campers, and they leave it here all summer. And they come up. Spring, yes, my email. You did not reply yet. No worries. Do you still need a reply, BKW? I'm sorry. It's hard for me to keep up with emails. It's also hard for me to I have so much junk email. That's the problem when you put your email address out there. You get junk, a lot of spam. Go says, last time I stayed at CW in California that did that. Dragoon says, thanks for sharing your drives with us. It was a thrill to appear in Monday's video. Because I drove by you. Well, you're welcome. Thank you for sharing them with me. And now Paul wants beef jerky. Very good. Estella retracted her message. Rock and Roll All-Stars says, you get your strength from this red earth of Tara, Scarlet. You're part of it, and it's part of you. Yeah, I guess you're calling me Scarlett O'Hara. Yeah, I guess you're right. Ghost Sickles Legs, B&B's at least feed you breakfast as well. There you go. Late to the party this morning. Yay for sunshine. Yeah, hopefully it stays for tomorrow, Estella. Are you coming down to town today? Eric says, take care all. Hope to meet some of you tomorrow. Very good, very good. Marie says, I've missed these drives. Well, you'll keep missing them because this is the last one. Jean says, I even thought about car camping in Walmart's lot, but it's not allowed in the Gettysburg Walmart. Oh, that's interesting. But a camper, you can, though. Enjoy the holidays all. Matt, enjoy your time off. Thanks for the shows, interviews, and drives. Barbara, thank you very much for the thanks, and you're very welcome. I will miss these and the chats. I know, me too. But maybe what we'll do is, it won't be as exciting for you, but instead of drives, when I do, behind the scenes videos for the first lieutenants, those of you who are first lieutenants, we'll have our chats there because, it's not all business. So we can have our little chats there and maybe once in a while, So, all right, here's the deal. Everybody get the Patreon app on your phone and create an account. Go and follow Addressing Gettysburg. Now you can do it for free. Now, you don't get anything unless I make it available for free, and many things are available for free. But it seems to me that Patreon is kind of realigning or revamping itself to kind of be its own social media platform more effectively. So that it would be a one-stop shop. So instead of having to follow me on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and all that other stuff, you could just follow us on YouTube and Patreon. And again, like I said before, I'm running a business. And so I have to think of what gets me the most bang for my buck. And those two things I can monetize. And it will be worth my time and efforts if everybody's subscribed to YouTube and if everybody is over on Patreon. And eventually, I'm going to do all my communications to you through product. What am I trying to say? Productions, yeah, product will all come out through Patreon, YouTube, or your favorite podcasting platform. The free stuff is not going to change. That's all going to still remain the way it is. And there will be more free stuff in the form of videos. I think for me, first of all, I hate Facebook. It's such a cesspool. Won't even go near Twitter because it's a bigger cesspool. And Instagram is kind of boring, and they're starting to play fast and loose like Facebook does. And they're playing with your exposure and all that other stuff, and they want you to pay for boosting posts. And I don't want to deal with that crap. I want to communicate with everybody. I want everybody to hear it. So that's why it looks like I'm going to start pushing everybody to try to get at least, go ahead and become a free member over at Patreon. Eventually you'll realize how much work we do, and you'll feel very guilty, and you'll become a paying member, and you'll get all the material that we have over there. But be a free one, because we're going to start putting up posts for free, informational, whatever, pictures, whatever. I'm going to treat it like I treat Instagram. Okay. Great. Unfortunately, I work afternoons, so I'm sorry, I'm scrolling back here trying to find. Okay, there we go. I'll miss all these in the chats. Thanks. Oh, come on. I miss all these in the chats. Where is it? I miss all these in the chats. Thanks, Ghost. Francis says last night's book recommendations. I don't know. Oh, well, I don't know what that's referring to. Unfortunately, I work afternoons, so catching Thursday's show is spotty at best. Well, it's archived. You don't have to watch it live. You can watch it anytime you like. Marie says, Merry Christmas all. Yes, Merry Christmas to you, Marie. BKW, the only thing I want to know is if I can book a private LBG through you. Yeah, I can set you up with somebody. Paul says, just who do you want, BKW? Well, tell me. I'll get to your email. Don't worry. Next week, I have no more recording to do. Next week, it's all office stuff. And I mean, I got a lot of computer work to do, but I'll be sitting by a computer. Yeah, definitely will miss these free therapy sessions with you all. Well, yeah, I will too, Dogface. And again, I'll pop in once in a while. Mornings won't be the same now. Well, that's too bad. That's too bad. Glenn and I are coming tomorrow morning. We will be there in time to do a tour with Eric Lindblade. Morning, Marie. Marie says, Eric, we aren't coming. Had to change plan. Oh, that sucks, Marie. I thought you were coming. Eric says, see you tomorrow. Estella, Elizabeth, your trivia partner, will be with you. We're there at the party. Good, very good, very good. We are going to have trivia tomorrow. It's not a game. It's just every table's going to have some trivia questions. I was told, I don't know, Cindy and Bethany and Debbie are planning the party. And I only hear little bits and pieces. And I'm like, I don't care. I can't think about it. Just trust you to do it. Eric says, sorry to hear that, Marie. Take care. Yes, I'm sorry to hear that too. Merry Christmas from Ghost. Happy New Year from Ghost. And God bless us, everyone, from Ghost. Awesome, Eric. Looking forward to it, says Marie. Yeah, Matt, thanks for these drives and all that you do. You're welcome, Jennifer. Thank you very much for your support. And Dragoon says, Merry Christmas, team. Guys, thank you very much. Again, if there's a snowstorm or there's some kind of news event that I happen to have access to, I will come in and I will do a live video. When I do have the time, I will still pop in and do one. But I'm going to imagine that I probably won't have much of it between January and March. And then when the winter lectures are over, I'll have some of my life back. So, yeah, we'll see. But in case you missed it last night, Santa Claus came into town and stopped by the Addressing Gettysburg Studios, the Gettysburg Museum of History Studios, I should say. And that was a compelling interview, a moment with Santa Claus, taking calls from our listeners' children, and also the premiere of Camp Claus coming to town. All right, so you guys have yourselves a great day. Merry Christmas. See you all at the party tomorrow if I'm going to see you at the party. And Happy New Year, etc., etc. Goodbye.